Hey guys, it's Woody Mark here, coming with another episode of my Road to Glory and Road to 100 goals. And as you can see, I've done another big episode for you guys as I kind of want to get this series rolling and get towards the end of it. But we're on 74 goals and we are in Division 2 as we got promoted last season and did alright last season. But the title probably spoils it all of what's going to happen this episode, as I do play around 5-6 games in this episode, so enjoy it. But Balotelli through on goal. Really, centre back positioning was quite poor. De Siglio didn't have the strength or significant pace to get around Balotelli, but De Siglio is still a good player. But gives it into Muriel, into Ibarbo, and nice little 1-2, I guess, and just giving it down the wing. And here I'm kind of thinking, you know what, I reckon he'll fall for it. And he actually does two pretty bad plays there, because he probably should have got the tackle twice on me and sent me down the line. But instead he actually thought I was going to go down the line and anticipated there. And to be honest, the skill move actually came after he went for the tackle, so he actually missed the tackle at the same time. So it was some pretty bad plays, but here he shoots and misses with might have been El Sharawi, but if you look at those stats there, you can tell who has currently been the better player, because Buffon hasn't had a save to make, which means I've only had one shot on target and scored it. But you have to take your chances, of course. But Ibarbo, nice piece of skill, finesses it in, number 75, Lego. And that means we are 3/4 of the way in this series, which is quite brilliant actually, because it kind of shows we're nearing towards the end, but we've still got a bit to go. And like I said, I want to finish this before I go to university, which is September 14th, and I also want to do a highlight thing. But Abona, who is scoring probably more goals than Ibarbo at this moment in time, scores another goal from a corner. Just really top player attacking wise actually. And that isn't the end. And towards the end, that was actually a brilliant save from Marchetti and very poor by me. But as you can see, we had 6 shots, he had 13, but who won? I did. So it's a case of there's always things you can do better. Obviously, you can be the better player and lose, but in football, it's the way it goes sometimes. You can say it's FIFA, but it happens in football. I say this a lot because there's no such thing as scripting or anything like that. It's just football. But Ibarbo on the ball, through ball into Quadrado. He crosses. No, he doesn't cross it in. But I kind of do a nice piece of dribbling and completely do him. And that makes it 1-0. So the Quadrado scores. And I'll actually tell you a little story. The first 2 games I actually lost footage for. And I'll explain what happens. You pretty much hit record, and well, you hit record, and then once you're done with the recording, because I tend to record different parts in case an error comes up. The first one recorded, and I actually couldn't access it on my software. Like literally, I would click on it and nothing could appear. I couldn't export it, do anything of that. But I went into my files and I noticed the footage was there, so I had to edit it. Edit hold footage there instead of my Elgato, which I like to do. And the second bit of footage, something kind of similar, I guess. It was a case of I hit record and my Elgato was like, because my PC ain't good, no, we're having none of this, and it literally just closed down the software. So the file wasn't saved on the software, but it was saved in my folders. So I managed to actually recover 2 files, which I find to be pretty damn brilliant, which meant 2 more games for you guys, which it's useful if you can see every step on the way. But now I know what happens and I can get my files back, which is brilliant. But here, good tag by Chiellini. You don't see Caceres do that as much as why I've signed him, and it's been around 3-4 episodes since I've signed him, so yes, I am commented. I don't really comment on players much, because unless they're super, I just tell you, oh, they're good, and I would advise getting them. But a Bonner on the ball with the skills and with the shot, and that's what I was saying, how he is actually a good striker. In a way, he actually does have the pace. Obviously, you could tell he wasn't bad on the ball, and his shot wasn't great, to be fair. It was a bit forced. But still a top class player of Honor, and can attack if you need to. But Zerninga, or I don't know how to say it. I've heard it being said, but I can't say it. But he's on the ball. He's running down that line and doing a few fake shots here and there. Nice piece of dribbling. Again, gives it into Muriel, chops it in. Dante gets completely done, and I put it in the far corner, and the keeper can do anything about it. It was just so powerful. And I actually said in one of my comment section that Lewis Muriel was actually better than Ibarbo at this moment in time, which is true in some cases but false in others. But ended the game 2-0, and we are just picking those results. And as you can see, it was quite a close cut game, and 5 wins out of 5 in this division. And as you can see, 2 bar you leave. And again, we always rotate the 4-3-3 side and the 4-on-2-on-2 side. Currently with the 4-3-3 side, because I'll talk about the teams and what, and this guy was like, ugh, awkward. But 5 at the back, ugh. But with the side going through the players, keeper Helton is okay. I wouldn't say he does fantastic saves, but he's not a bad keeper per se. And cut it back for the goal. The sweat is real, even though I don't really care. If I consider it, I kind of think it as real football, FIFA. So that's the right move, and it was a goal. But centre backs, Diakite, bit more pace. Desiglio, maybe either a bit more pace or a bit more strength if you compare him to Abate. And that's a great through ball and a brilliant clearance, actually. And I hope I score here, because it seems like this is currently an editing mistake. But Anderson is on the ball. But left back, I've got Clichy, who's solid. Oh yeah, Ibarbo, through on goal, shoots, scores. Clichy, solid left back, could be a bit more strength. Could use a bit more strength. Pogba, good player, good solid player. Actually better attacking than defending. And I forgot to mute my headset, so I actually heard that. And yeah, Anderson, would like him to be solid on the back, but he's actually really good on the ball, you would be surprised to hear. So he's actually quite a class player, actually, quite one of the underrated players in this game. Guarin, currently God, and I'm actually going to show the stats after this game, or it might be after the next one, I'm not completely sure. And then Ibarbo's Ibarbo, he's class. El Shawari's good, maybe lacks a bit of pace at times. And then 1-2 off the goalkeeper or crossbar and corners is just so it's ridiculous. It's like, the ball's just going to go back to you and score, isn't it? Yeah, it is, and it's just the way it goes. It's mechanic in the game, nothing can be done. And, next player, Quadrado, very good player. So overall, it's got a lot of good players, but it's got a few players missed out to be the ultimate team, let's say. But Isla actually scores a good goal, and at the moment I'm kind of thinking, do I want to replace him or do I not? He does an okay job getting back, him and Zuniga, which is why I think the 4-on-2-on-2 team works quite well, especially with me playing Marquisio, who's more of an attacking CDM. Well, he isn't even a CDM, he's more of a centre mid. But that was just ridiculous. What my defenders were doing, I do not know, and Oleg just kept running and scored. I was verily mad. Art thou mad? Yes, I'm mad with my centre backs, because the positioning was awful. I had a similar situation in a previous episode. I believe it was Dumbia was through on goal. I forget if he actually scored that or not, but Ibarbo on the ball and I muck it up completely. And then Thiago, I fail with croissant slightly, but Olich crosses it in. And my defender actually had alright positioning, but then he just fell away and Olich scored there. And to be honest, I don't think this guy was the greatest player in the world, so I was quite disappointed with this defeat. Not to say that he was a bad player, because he deserved to win, but I just felt disappointed and I felt I could do better. But now you see me going down all the players who have scored. So the top goal scorers for all of my teams. And currently you're seeing, like, I went back to scoring 9 goals in 13 games, but I thought this is a good thing to show you, just so you know how the team's doing overall. Even Anderson as CDM is getting a few goals there, and like Mangala could be better in the air. Good assist from Barte and Croissant, but yeah, overall pretty damn good. And Isla 9 assists, Zoniga 9 assists, and even Ibarbo for me has got like 30 assists or something absolutely ridiculous. So he's still been a class player when he hasn't been playing, when he hasn't been scoring, which is what people kind of underestimate. It isn't about the goals. Some people create goals which may as well be a goal for them, but here we come up against a pretty standard OP 4-1-2 team. Got some very op players in there, but El Shaarawy on the ball, I do a nice, well, I actually just see the space, and unfortunately you could argue, was he sprinting and should he have cleared that first time, press circle? I don't know if he made a mechanic to clear it, but at the end of the day, you got to take your opportunities when the game mechanics go in your favour. You can't just go, no, this is unfair, I'm not going to score this. But David Luiz actually scores a good header to make it 1 goal all. And yeah, this game's for the title now, I'm pretty sure. But what I'm actually going to do is, so I can see the footage more, I've actually learned how to increase the size of my screen while having the footage go on, so I know how long it is. But El Shaarawy scores a really bad finesse shot, to be perfectly honest. I'm aware that he has a top finesse shot, so I would never do this with any other player. But the only reason I can think is the keeper sees it late, in my opinion, because the keeper will just never, like, bother to save it. Well, the keeper would have saved it easily, that's what I'm trying to say, sorry. Got mixed up with me words. And Clichy on the ball, back into El Shaarawy, and he just rushes out with David Luiz. But to be honest, that's realistic because David Luiz would probably do that. But Ibarbo on the ball, he shoots and he scores to make it 3-1. And this guy all through the match was actually playing better than me. So I've actually been lucky in 2 of the games in a sense, but did well to defend and take my chances. So it depends what you think in a way, but I went ultra defensive and this guy is honestly like blown up in his head. But good roulette from Guarin. Ibarbo in, he scores, he shoot, well, he just scored. So that is actually going to be the end of the video because he does rage quit. So it's been Woody Markham here. And also tell me what player you want me to sign next, if you want me to sign anyone. So, see you guys.